Man, he's like, I didn't know Oscar until 15 minutes ago, but I'm upset.
I don't know why she fucking lost.
It's bullshit.
She tapped out like a bitch.
Starting up strong. Burnout Inc. hooking it up. Picked up this Rikishi figure for me because I've still never seen this Hall of Champions wave anywhere near my target. I saw him once at a local Comic Con, but they were like $35 a pop, and I'm like, nah, I can't do that. But he hit me up one night on Instagram, and he was just like, hey, I'm looking at some of these Hall of Champion figures. You need any? I'm like, dude, Rikishi. So within minutes, he bought the figure. I had him paid, and I think it only took like 2 or 3 days before Rikishi got to me. And actually, just the other night, he picked up that Jeff Hardy, the new one. Not the entrance grades, but the, I don't know, just kind of the more normal-looking one. And same thing, you know, so that'll be here hopefully this week. But a couple of things that I never got a chance to show. I was doing some work for Chino's stop-motion martial arts tournament. I had Sub-Zero looking like he was going to come through here and just beat people up. I think my animations turned out good, and I look forward to seeing what other people come up with in the whole fighting tournament. But these are Beasts of the Mesozoic, Velociraptors. Well, actually, no, raptors. They're not all Velociraptors, although there are 1 or 2 in the wave. Technically, this is spread across 2 waves now, so I've got these 2, and then I've got 2 more coming in about a month, I believe, from the time I record this. Not 100% sure. So this is the Liniraptor, or Linhiraptor. I'm not exactly sure the pronunciation on a bunch of these, but I picked this one up just because I really like the color scheme, and yeah. Damn, looks nice. And then this is the Atrociraptor. I picked this one up because it just looks menacing. And we'll get these out and we'll show these to you a little bit better. Now, one of the first things you'll notice taking these guys out is that these kind of subscribe to the modern theory of dinosaur science, indicating that they would have had a lot of feathers all over their body, not like reptile skin like you would see in like, I don't know, like old books or like Jurassic Park or like any of that kind of stuff. So just bear in mind that this is kind of like going by what we consider like today's accurate science when you buy these figures. But that also gives them a lot of room to play around. Like, I mean, look at the color scheme that you can get away with when you have feathered animals. And like, I don't know, some of these other ones on the back, I don't know if you can really tell from this video, but some of these are really, really beautiful figures, man. I'm telling you. So yeah, at a package, you can see that these guys are actually really striking. The articulation is good. The paintwork, in my case, has been really exceptional. The only one gripe I have about the paintwork is that the inside of the knee joint, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it doesn't match the color of the actual feathers on the legs. So it's just like a black disc. So, I mean, that's kind of a bummer. But overall, besides that, I really have no faults with these guys at all. Especially the Liniraptor here. I love the color scheme. Like, it looks bright. It looks really nice. Obviously the jaws open up and everything too, so you can get them in different poses. Like the arms are very posable. I'm not going to be able to do this without knocking them off his stand, I don't think. Oh yeah, sidebar. They all come with stands too, which is nice. The arms all flex and pose like that. The tail is actually on a bendy wire, so this is actually really functional. Like you can get this basically in whatever pose you want it, and it'll hold its pose. And what's cool about it is you can actually pop that. Here, I'll show you. You can actually pop the ball peg out here, and there's another point to peg it in, like up above, so you can actually angle it downward. So if you want to have the tail being like swooped kind of downward, so if you want your raptors to be kind of like lower to the ground with the tail kind of laid flat, they can do that. So yeah, they both come with unique bases, and I think they tried to keep the bases kind of characteristic of where these raptors would have lived in the world at that point. So, for example, the Liniraptor would have been from Mongolia, so I guess that would have been like more of a rocky, sandy type area, while the Atrociraptor is from southwest Canada, so maybe a little swampier, a little marshier, I don't know. Interesting to note that they give you the little like details and everything on the back of the box, which also makes me realize that this display, as you see it right here, could never happen because these two existed roughly 2 million years apart. So yeah, you know, I'm just going to have them displayed on my shelf together, even though that's not how it ever could possibly be. Now, if you're looking at scale-wise, these guys will look good with, you know, like 1/12 scale figures. So let me see who I got. We got Edge over here. You can see that he looks great with these figures. So yeah, this will basically stand in like this with any like 12th scale Marvel Legends or wrestling or whatever figures you want. Problem is, oh, it's not really a problem. It's more of a stylistic choice. These are actually meant to be like 1/6 scale Raptors. See, Jurassic Park based their Velociraptor on a completely different dinosaur. I believe it was Deinonychus. I'm not entirely 100% sure on that. But it was a much bigger dinosaur. And that's why their Raptors are so giant. But if you were to actually accurately scale these guys with figures, it'd be closer to this. But I don't know anybody that's going to do that. I think anybody that buys these figures is just going to pop them on a shelf with like 12th scale Marvel Legends or something like that. And, you know, if you don't mind doing that, I think they look great. As a matter of fact, that's pretty much exactly what I'm going to do, especially when I get my other two. I think they'll look awesome. But, yeah, these guys will run you anywhere from about $40 to $45 a piece. I'm not sure if the crowdfunding thing is still going on or not. That's pretty much how I got linked up with these. But yeah, I'm really impressed. I'm happy I got them.
Oh no! He just asked me. Oh! I'm choking on my pizza. The fuck? Come on!
All right, traveling over to Egypt. This is something that I've been working on like on and off for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it's just pretty much anytime I get a few minutes of spare time, I'll do like one little thing with it. But, you know, it's finally at the point where I'm ready to like show it. I got the idea from when Burnout Inc. was streaming Donkey Kong Country, and there was that one level where he was playing it, and I was like, you know what, that would make a pretty cool diorama. So I decided to take that idea and kind of run with it. And then it wound up being more of like an ancient Egyptian type temple ruins thing. I went with a couple Egyptian symbols and put them on the floor and stuff like that. Got the Ankh and the Eye of Horus. Let's see what else we got here. These columns are just paper towel tube things from, you know, just your paper towel roll, and corrugated cardboard that I wrapped around it and painted. So I mean, I think it looks cool. They're all removable. Most of this stuff is all completely modular. You got this little like piece in the back that's just meant to be like, I don't know, like a shrine of some kind. I haven't figured out everything yet, but you know, it's all coming together. These aren't magnetized yet, these wall pieces, but the idea here is that you could have either one or the other displayed. So if you only have a small space and you want to display them, you'd be able to just, you know, have half your diorama right there. You wouldn't, you know, maybe store this part or whatever the case. But I wanted to make like the back wall be like damaged and broken hidden, so you got some bricks that are like loose, some stuff going on in there that I think looks really cool. I'll take that out of the way so you can see it, but yeah, a couple of damaged bricks and stuff. And this, I actually really like how this came out. I think that's cool. You got your, you know, broken apart wall. I gotta do something down here. I can't figure out exactly what yet. But yeah, obviously this is on the floor. There's a magnet in there, so the two pieces stick together. And these are not, like, there's no magnet to stick the back wall to the other back wall, but there is a magnet inside there to keep it, like, standing upright. And what I also got to try and pop this off even a little bit more is some of this, like, foliage type stuff. So basically just, like, I don't know, a little grass and plant life, so that I can have it, like, you know, coming in through the windows and on the ledges and stuff here and on the floor a little bit near the windows, just to kind of give it that little bit of extra, I don't know, to make it look like it's existed for thousands of years, and you know, just plants have kind of grown in and whatever. But yeah, so far I like it, and I got to do a little bit more final touches on it, I suppose. But again, unfortunately, I just don't have the time to build dioramas the way I used to, which kind of sucks because I got a lot of ideas, and unfortunately, no time to do them. And then they wind up on the floor like this.
Oh, he is going to pedigree her.
Do it! I was always right at that fucking guy in the early days. What? Come on! You're just bullshit! No. You see this? She's beating his ass, man! You
If he taps out,
Get saved by the wife again. Get saved by the wife. Stop fighting her, man. You can't beat her. She's better fighting her.
Just done my laundry. I came home, baby. Look what's here. Storm Collectibles. Chun-Li Special Edition. Kind of like Ryu, I opted to get the alternate colors just so it wouldn't be exactly like the figure arts in terms of color. But I do like these palette swap figures. Big fan of Ryu, and I do intend on getting a couple more. Let's see what's what. There she is. Out of package. She looks really nice. I do like the aesthetic of the figure. It matches up with the rest of the Storm Collectibles figures. You can see she's about the same height as Ryu, which, I don't know, I like it. Ryu's obviously much bulkier. Chun-Li is a lot more slender. Now, here is something that I will, well, alright, how about that? Here's something that I will put as a negative for Storm Collectibles. The last few that I bought out of, like immediately out of package, they've had some problems with the joints, like being too tight, so you get this. You know? Nobody wants that. And I got it in the knees, too. Pain, man. Zangief was horrible for that. Reptile, I think, had one or two that I had to go back in and fix up. Now, how you deal with that? You get yourself a little bit of this here shock oil. This, you can pretty much get at hobby shops. I got mine at a place that sells primarily like model kits and like race car type stuff. Typically, what I do, we're going to move her back just a second. You're going to get yourself a little paintbrush here. Just a small gimmick, you don't need a lot. And you're going to only use a little bit. You're going to see that I'm just going to basically squeeze this until a small bubble appears out the top. Or until I blast it all over the place. There we go. That's all I need. I'm going to dip it right in there. Now, a little bit of this goes a long way, as you'll see. You've been thoroughly disappointed so far with WrestleMania.
Oh, I've been extremely disappointed. Everyone I want to win loses. I mean,
Except the Bludgeon Brothers.
I don't give a shit about the Bludgeon Brothers.
Alright, so here's Chun-Li. I went through and I put shock oil on like all the ball joints that, you know, were squeaking when I was trying to move the figure around before. And now she moves around a lot better without too much resistance or any kind of like weird squeaking noise. I mean, you still get a little bit, but it's not like nearly as bad as it was. So, all that said, I do like the figure quite a bit. You get a great range of motion out of her. She's got a really good sculpt. I really like the face sculpts on her. I will say that the heads pop off a little easy, but, you know, that's just kind of what happens with some of these Storm Collectibles figures. I know Ryu back there, like, his hands pop on and off, like, pretty easily, almost to the point where, like, you might pop it off just by trying to move the figure around. But that said, I do like the pink look on Chun-Li. I think it looks good. It's a good figure, well painted, well sculpted. You get all the poses you need out of it. I'm with it. And because I can't help myself, stopped in Toys R Us and picked up the M Bison, the special edition. The green and gold, obviously. Same figure as the red and silver version. It's just a repaint. But it was 15% off action figures at Toys R Us. And I had some money left on a Visa prepaid gift card, so this figure wound up costing me like $28 after I was all said and done. So I was like, you know what, for that price, yeah, let's do it. I mean, the boxes were all beat up because Toys R Us is pretty much ransacked at this point, but for the price, can't go wrong. And Bison moves around really well too. I didn't have to do any kind of like oil on the joints with this one, like pretty much out of box he was fine, which is, it's always nice when you don't have to do anything to your action figure to get it to move the way it's supposed to. So yeah, overall, I really love this line, the Storm Collectibles Street Fighter. They might be my favorite figures going right now, with the exception of maybe their Mortal Kombat line. But the only reason I'd probably tip in favor of Street Fighter is because Mortal Kombat currently only has like the ninjas, and they're all just repaints. I mean, they're all great figures. I mean, if you watch my top figures of last year, Scorpion is #1, so obviously I'm a big fan of the line. But Street Fighter just has more variety so far. I know with Mortal Kombat we're getting Shao Kahn at some point soon, and then they showed a bunch of other figures that are coming out, like Katana, Liu Kang, the Cyborgs, one or two others that I'm probably forgetting. But yeah, that's going to be great to see those characters when they come out. But for right now, I think Street Fighter's got them beat. So yeah, this line, it hooked me. I'm going to continue to support it because I really like the figures, and they display nicely. They're fun to mess with, and I recommend them to anybody who's got the money to spend on quality Street Fighter figures.
So you hate everybody in this match except Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Every single one of them.
So you didn't give a shit until the hype package a second ago.
Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't care about the match at all. Now I want Daniel Bryan to beat the shit out of all of them. I don't know who Daniel Bryan is.
He's just some guy that everybody likes. He's awesome. Like,
are assholes, and Shane McMahon is this piece of shit. Look at him. Oh, I hate him.
Well, what do we got here? It's a little package. Address withheld, obviously. This is the second time in this video that Burnout Inc. is helping me out. It's like the guy's my friend or something. Shit. Boom. Jeff Hardy. The new one. The Elite. Whatever series we're on now. I'm terrible with numbers. But, yeah, I preferred this one to the entrance greats. And I gotta say, it's looking good. What's he wearing under there? Damn! He's got the world title. Very nice. Awesome. Many thanks. He threw in a little stand gimmick, too, which typically I just do away with. Because, I mean... Like, what am I going to do with this? Although, actually, since they started actually putting their, like, artwork on the back, I do like them better. It's a lot nicer of a display than the, you know, like the thing that was, like, meant to be one long picture of something. Because then if you didn't buy the whole wave, like, what were you left with? It was like a picture of a half an ambulance in the background or something, and it was stupid. This, on the other hand, is much nicer. And it's really cool to have another one of these world titles, because I really like the design of this one. So, I'll give that to somebody. But yeah. Jeff looks good, moves around. I actually like the pants design and everything too. It's as far as I can tell, it's a new mold, or maybe it's reused from like one of the really old Matt Hardys. I don't know. I never got any of the older stuff, so very nice. Big shout out once again. Thanks to Burnout Inc. for hooking it up. He sent me a message saying that he got an extra one of these off of Amazon, and he's like, "Yeah, dude. So if you're looking for it, I got one." So once again, just like with Rikishi, within 5 minutes. The deal was made, the man was paid, and Jeff went in the mail the next day. So, very nice. I like the figure. Good stuff.
That's crispy.